instant amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an instant amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Tuesday, May 26th, 2020. My name is Thomas Hunt, and this is the World Crypto Network. The price of Bitcoin is down 1.20% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 8,715, a high of 9,013, and a low of 8,716. That's $1 for 11,481 Satoshis. Volume is a little low at 4,484 Bitcoins traded hands. Market continues to lean margin long, with 77% heading that direction. Checking out our top stories. First mover. Bitcoin could get a boost from central bank digital currencies. Bitcoin price is caught in a downdraft after a series of rallies in recent weeks that repeatedly fizzled out at the $10,000 mark. There's no telling where Bitcoin could go. It may retrace back to 6,500 or reach 10,000. With the near-term picture cloudy, some analysts are focusing on longer-term trends that could be surprisingly bullish for Bitcoin, the emergence of digital currencies issued by central banks. It's not an obvious investment thesis because Bitcoin was invented to be used in electronic peer-to-peer payment system that would be free of government control and operate outside of the traditional banking system. And most central bank currencies, or CBDCs, would, by their very nature, be issued and controlled by governments, and in many cases, distributed through banks. However, Jack Purdy and Ryan Watkins of the research firm Masari wrote in a report last week that the coming digitization of money, including the launch of CBDCs, could provide a secular tailwind for Bitcoin. CBDCs have gained momentum over the past year as countries consider whether to roll out digital versions of their currencies to keep up with Facebook's proposed Libra. It's changed its name to like Novi or something this morning. China's forthcoming digital currency electronic payment, which is already in testing. The journal, Central Banking, which is supported by the Bank of International Settlements and the European Central Bank, among others, found in a survey earlier this month that some 46 countries are considering CBDCs, using a constrained form of distributed ledger technology. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell told Congress in February the U.S. Central Bank is in the early stages of researching digital currencies, boop, 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 and that having a single government currency at the heart of the financial system is something that has served us well. Even so, J.P. Morgan said in a report last week that there is no country with more to lose from the disruptive potential of digital currency than the United States. This resolves primarily around U.S. dollar hegemony. Dun, dun, dun. Bitcoin bounce stalls at 9K amid 2% rise in S&P 500 futures. Bitcoin moved back over $9,000 earlier on Tuesday alongside of an improved risk appetite in the traditional markets, but quickly fell back to 8,900. Blah, blah, blah. Bitcoin closely tracked actions in the equity markets in March and April before decoupling in the 2 weeks leading up to the reward halving event, the halvening, on May 11th, With a halvening behind us, the cryptocurrency may again start taking cues from equities. Blah, blah, blah. Chart goes up. Still, he holds no Bitcoin. This post-halving Bitcoin era will be unlike any other, I guess. Think there are only 21 million Bitcoin? Think again. Weiss Ratings says that exchanges may be holding more Bitcoin than actual private keys that they own. Dun, dun, dun. Exploding past 10 billion. Interest income and lending are Bitcoin's first killer apps. If only we had that in 2014. If only we had that in 2014. Bitwage rolls out Bitcoin 401k plan with help from Gemini. This could be interesting. Employers may use Bitwage. Let's see. Company has a 401k plan, especially for those trying to meet the 75% payroll requirement in the federal Paycheck Protection Program. Interesting. So they could offer people Bitcoin loans or the ability to buy Bitcoin with your 401k. All right. Usually Bitwage is just a way where you can buy Bitcoin with your paycheck. But this looks like a way where you could buy Bitcoin with your paycheck, but it would be counted as a 401k. So then you probably wouldn't have to pay taxes on it until later. So that sounds interesting. But if they actually give you the Bitcoin, I don't know how they can guarantee that you'll pay the up or the down on it if they actually give you the Bitcoin. So better to get the keys, like the other article said. Bitcoin Suisse users can now trade gold and silver against Bitcoin and Ether. It's interesting. Some major action here. Swiss cryptocurrency financial services firm introduced precious metal trading against top cryptocurrencies. Gold. Argentina is cracking down on local Bitcoin trading. Argentina's Financial Information Unit is pushing for tighter controls on Bitcoin trading as the government battles parallel exchange markets that threaten the peso. Dun, dun, dun. We'd always expected this would happen, and now it's happening. Bitcoin daily chart alert. Bulls need to step up this week. All right. You heard them, bulls. Step up. Will Shopify's new cryptocurrency partnership widen its moat? No. The e-commerce services company expands its crypto payment options beyond Bitcoin, and Shopify has partnered with Coin Payments, which allows merchants to process more than 1,800 types of cryptocurrencies, but the only one that anyone ever uses is Bitcoin. What's great about this strategy here is that you can just say that you accept 18,000 or 1,800 different types of payments, and everyone can just leave you alone. All they really wanted to do is to get you to take their coin. Their coin is a really great coin that they've bought a lot of. They're not willing to spend their coin at your shop, but they'll send you endless emails and Twitter message about their coin and the incredible power and value and soon-to-be wealth of their coin. So good job, Shopify. Way to distract. But it's much easier just to take Bitcoin. I remember when Wikipedia did the study years ago, and again, it was used against Bitcoin at the time, so it's not a great study. But Wikipedia said, by adding the extra option to pay with Bitcoin, they confused people so much that like 20-30% stopped donating. Right? They were just like, what the heck is this Bitcoin? I have to use this Bitcoin? Like, they didn't understand that Wikipedia also had credit cards or that it also had other options, just the additional option. So imagine adding 1,800 different cryptos. It says 300 other types of cryptos. So I'm not sure if it's 300 cryptos or 1800, but imagine the menu. It like pops up. Whoosh. Which crypto would you like to pay with? Good luck with that. Coinbase investor and Reddit co-founder sees a new Bitcoin and crypto spring. That's good enough. I don't need to hear more. And now, what about no-win situations? A no-win situation, also called a lose-lose situation, is where one person has choices, but no choice leads to a net gain. For example, if an executioner offers the condemned the choice of death by being hanged, shot, or poisoned, all choices lead to death. The condemned is in a no-win situation. This bleak situation gives the chooser no room. Whichever choice is made, the person making it will lose their life. Less drastic situations may also be considered no-win situations. If one has a choice for lunch between a ham sandwich and a roast beef sandwich, but is a vegetarian or has a wheat allergy, that might also be considered a no-win situation. Of course, we know the most famous no-win situation is the Kobayshi Maru, a fictional training exercise from Star Trek designed to test the character of Starfleet Academy cadets in a no-win situation, a no-win scenario. The test was first depicted in the opening scene of the film Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, and also appears in the 2009 film Star Trek. Dun dun dun. And of course, they're out trying to rescue some Klingons. They decide whether to rescue them, endanger the ship and their lives, or leave them to certain destruction. So should we try to rescue America, endangering our own lives, or should we leave America to certain destruction? If the cadet chooses attempted rescue, the simulation is designed to guarantee that the cadet ship enters a simulation that he or she will have absolutely no chance of winning, escaping, negotiating, or even surviving. What would Captain Kirk do? It's also a great novel based on the Kobayashi Maru. I've read it. And now, the news. No one likes the news. Run away. Tur Demister writes, the era of Bitmain is truly over. Due to the commoditization of chips and machines, it's unlikely that one Bitcoin mining company will ever again dominate and threaten the market like Bitmain did. Shout out to Tur. Excellent tweet. It says, someone else said, in his opinion, MicroBT has overtaken Bitmain. Product quality, ability to ship large quantities, customer support. Canaan next, but hasn't released a unit comparable to the S19 or M30 yet. Their latest generation is A1066 Pro. Then InnoSilicon, but they're based in Wuhan, and no new Bitcoin miner recently. It is exciting to see the world of Bitcoin mining expand beyond just one company. We were in awful trouble then. But Bitcoin survived. Bitcoin endured. I never thought I'd have to live in a country where I'd take seriously the worry about a president pervasively cheating to steal an election or refusing to participate in a smooth transition of power if he lost. So let's hope that doesn't happen, but we'll see how that goes. Peter Woolley writes, I once paid 4 Bitcoins for a t-shirt. 2 Bitcoins plus 2 for shipping. It was too small, and I have no idea where it is now. No regrets. And this is an important message that part of using Bitcoin is spending Bitcoin. And it would be great to always rebuy, and I suggest that everyone rebuy Bitcoin if you spend it. But often you don't have the money and you just have to spend Bitcoin and get something of value. But even then, you're contributing to Bitcoin. You're spreading it around. You're making it happen. Brazil's COVID numbers look bad, but the details look worse. An order of magnitude fewer tests than any other hard-hit countries, and COVID tests are coming back 50% positive. So Brazil is currently having a major outbreak of the coronavirus. It is not over, not by a long shot. And don't worry, John Kelly will rein Trump in. Don't worry, Mueller will bring Trump to justice. Don't worry, John Roberts will ensure a fair trial. Don't worry, impeachment will humble Trump. Don't worry, the Constitution prevents Trump from canceling the election. Anti-war news reminds us, Memorial Day poppies red as blood. How many are enough? Enough to remember the lives traded for a rancorous policy? Enough to forget how to make war? Richard Feynman writes, the goal of teaching should not be to help the students learn how to memorize and spit out information under academic pressure. The goal of teaching is to inspire the desire for learning in them and make them able to think, understand, and question. Let's see. This is a classic video that I haven't watched yet. White House advisor Kevin Haslett, our human capital stock is ready to go back to work. And by stock and human capital, he means people, the livestock of our industry, the people of the world. We're going to play this video for fair use for CNN for news and commentary purposes. Let's see what he said.
We don't have, our capital stock hasn't been destroyed. Our human capital stock is ready to get back to work. And so that there are lots of reasons to believe that we can get going way faster than we have in previous crises. But we don't have, our capital stock hasn't been destroyed. Our human capital stock is ready to get back to work. And so that there are lots of reasons to believe that we can get going way faster than we have in previous crises.
All right, human capital stock. Most of them just call us people. But yes, the human capital stock is ready to get back to work. Excellent. Andrew Adonis writes, Britain should be in overdrive this week, building an international coalition on Hong Kong. First imperative is for the UK and as many Commonwealth and European allies as possible to make a joint offer of lifeboat citizenship to Hong Kong residents in fear of persecution. And it would be great if that happened, but I'm not sure that it's going to. Hong Kong is in terrible trouble. This is foreboding for workplaces. The number of Tyson employees with the coronavirus has exploded from less than 1,600 a month ago to more than 7,000 today, even after safety equipment was installed. Nature finds a way. The virus finds a way. It's almost like it wants to kill until you eliminate it. The virus finds a way. This is more great news from the great state of Georgia. Governor Kemp reopened the state but canceled an election. Kemp and the state's GOP canceled Tuesday's election for the Supreme Court. Instead, Kemp will appoint the successor, ensuring that the seat will remain in Republican hands. It's great. So get ready. That's a preview of what could happen in the future of our democracy. Democracy! I know. 4 years ago, the San Francisco Bitcoin meetup had a meetup, but the rest is history. Watch for the first time ever. Let's see, should we watch it now? Is everyone ready to watch it? The Proof of Work art show from 2016. Hello and welcome to Mad Bitcoin's live test show from the Bitcoin art show. We're joined by Travis.
Oh,
Travis, how's it going?
It's going great. We're figuring all the problems out, and it's a beautiful space. I just swept. I've been sweeping and stealing light bulbs for the last hour. It's great.
Oh, what an incredible art gallery. Now let's take a tour. It's right here.
I just like to get the art setting up there.
There's the great photo. Exciting behind the scenes art There he is, Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto, and more. Check it out on Proof of Art on the World Crypto Network right here. This is from 2016. The video's just been in the can for a long time. Obviously, it was shot portrait mode, not our preference, but it was the early days of Periscope. I'm not even sure that you could shoot landscape yet, but check it out right here on the World Crypto Network. Be sure to subscribe down below. At this point, the only people who think what Sweden has done was a good idea are the people in the U.S. who have spent a career belittling Scandinavian countries. And they're saying Sweden was wrong to shut down. They've had 3 to 6 times as many deaths as their other Scandinavian nations, and they only achieved 7% herd immunity. I remember herd immunity is a term from the veterinarian and the meat processing industry. If your cows get sick, they develop herd immunity by eliminating, 70 to 90% of the cows. You take an acceptable loss on the herd. So be careful if you're in that herd. As the lady said in Nevada, she said in Las Vegas, that we could be part of the control group. She wanted us to be part of the control group. Oh, how unfortunate. Now is the part where it gets really tough. Okay, so just to catch you up to speed, years ago, Joe Scarborough was a representative from the great state of Florida. I think it was Florida. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And Scarborough was a representative, and this lady died in his office mysteriously. And many people thought maybe he was having an affair and she got bumped off. But as it really turned out, she had like an aneurysm in her brain or something. Something went wrong internally. It just popped. She died. It's a sad story, right? That's pretty much it. There's no cold case. There's no investigation. There's no additional data other than, getting the specific medical condition and really talking about it. But that's it, right? Now, President Trump doesn't like Scarborough and Mika, his wife, Brzezinski, who both have a TV show called Morning Joe. They have a morning TV show and he doesn't. He really wishes he had a morning TV show. That's part of what this whole thing's been about, is that The Apprentice wasn't paying him enough. So he wanted a raise from The Apprentice. So he was going to run for president to get a raise. But then he said the racist stuff about Mexicans. Then he couldn't get the raise because they canceled the show. So really, he just wants a TV show. So anyway, he's been attacking Scarborough on Twitter. Now, remember, Twitter is not just the public and open internet. Twitter is someone else's walled garden, right? We exist at the pleasure of Twitter, and Twitter has rules, right? If you or I were to go on Twitter and accuse someone else of murder over and over again loudly without evidence or cause, and after it had been tried in court, it would be against the Twitter rules, right? It would be defaming their character. It would be abusive, right? The president keeps doing this. So now he's put himself in a position where the things are tightening on Twitter. Twitter wants to keep the president. He's a big star, right? He creates lots of ratings for Twitter. Not much real action for their stock. I had to do it. I bought Twitter stock. But yeah, no, not much action for their stock, but at least it keeps their name in the news. So Twitter is a rock and a hard place, right? A juxtaposition, a Kobayshi Maru, if you will, for Twitter, right? Everything comes together. So they're starting to circulate now a letter that's been written by the widower of Lori Klostuzits. I'm going to go with that. To Jack Dorsey, asking Jack Dorsey to delete the tweets by President Trump. Oh man, can we get a blurrier version of this letter? Let's see. Okay, here we go. A less blurry version. Mr. Dorsey, nearly 19 years ago, my wife, who had an undiagnosed heart condition, fell and hit her head on her desk at work. She was found dead the next morning. Her name is Lori K. Klostuzits, and she was 28 years old when she died. Her passing is the single most painful thing that I have ever had to deal with in my 52 years, and continues to haunt her parents and sister. I have mourned my wife every day since her passing. I have tried to honor her memory in our marriage. As her husband, I feel that one of my marital obligations is to protect her memory as I would have protected her in life. There's been a constant barrage of falsehoods, half-truths, innuendo, and conspiracy theories since the day she died. I realize this may sound like an exaggeration. Unfortunately, it is the verifiable truth. Because of this, I have struggled to move forward with my life. The frequency, intensity, ugliness, and promulgation of these horrifying lies ever increases on the internet. These conspiracy theorists, including most recently the President of the United States, continue to spread their bile and misinformation on your platform, disparaging the memory of my wife and our marriage. President Trump on Tuesday tweeted to his nearly 80 million followers, alluding to the repeatedly debunked falsehoods that my wife was murdered by her boss, former U.S. Representative Joe Scarborough. The son of the president followed and more directly attacked my wife by tweeting to his followers as the means of spreading this vicious lie. I'm sure you're aware of this situation because media around the world have covered it, but just in case, here it is. And here are the tweets. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. When will they open a cold case on the psycho Joe Scarborough matter in Florida? Did he get away with murder? Some people think so. Why did he leave Congress so quickly and quietly? Isn't it obvious? What's happening now? A total nut job. He also says, Concast, in quotes, should open up a long overdue Florida cold case against psycho Joe Scarborough. I know him and Crazy Mika well, used them beautifully in the last election, dumped them nicely, and will state on the record that he is nuts. Besides, bad ratings. Hashtag Open Joe Cold Case. And then Donald J. Trump says, what show is Joe going to go on to discuss Lori Klistuzits? My request is simple, says the husband of Lori. Please delete these tweets. I'm not a research engineer and not a lawyer, but I have reviewed all of Twitter's rules and terms of service. The president's tweet that suggests Lori was murdered without any evidence and contrary to the official autopsy is a violation of Twitter's community rules and terms of service. An ordinary user like me would be banished from the platform for such a tweet, but I am only asked that these tweets be removed. I am now angry and frustrated as well as grieved. I understand that Twitter's policies about content are designed to maintain the appearance that your hands are clean. You provide the platform, and the rest is up to the users. However, in certain past cases, Twitter has removed content and accounts that are inconsistent with your terms of service. I'm asking you to intervene in this instance because the President of the United States has taken something that does not belong to him, the memory of my dead wife, and perverted it for perceived political gain. I would also ask that you consider Lori's niece and 2 nephews who will eventually come across this filth in the future. They have never met their aunt, and it pains me to think that they would ever have to learn about her in this way. My wife deserves better. Thank you for your consideration. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Sincerely, Timothy J. Klestutitz. So there you go. A pretty straightforward and honest direct letter from the widower, asking Twitter to take down the tweets. Now the Kobayshi Maru is up on you, right? The part of thinking. You have to think like, am I on the side of the president who's attacking this widow and using it to bash a television show host? Or am I on the side of the widower and wish that either the tweets or the president be removed from Twitter? Kara Swisher says Twitter must cleanse the Trump stain, and that the president is spreading a vile conspiracy theory on the platform, and that Twitter should finally hold him to its rules. Kristen Vanderbroek writes, the president, coward that he is, refuses to acknowledge the plea from Dr. Klistuzits to stop exploiting his wife's tragic death. Elected Republicans should think long and hard if they really want their legacy to be that they stood with Donald Trump. And you have to think about yourself now as well. You have to think, like, which side is really more decent, right? Like, maybe it's fun to laugh, you know, oh, he really got one over on the idiot TV show host, right? That's a rich guy. But this widower, whose wife, you know, dropped dead at work, something went wrong inside her head and she died on her desk there. She had a heart attack or whatever it was. I mean, like, so which side are you on? And as Stone Kettle writes on Twitter, but that's the thing. Republicans don't give a shit about the future. They don't care about how the future will regard them. All they care about is now. If they cared about the future in even the slightest form, they wouldn't be the people they are. It's an interesting kind of a perversion of Zen Buddhism, right? This greed in the now. Like, instead of being present in the now, you would be greedy in the now and think about how you could benefit yourself only in the now. Most pleasure possible. And we've already seen the tweets from the president attacking Jeff Sessions, his most loyal of lieutenants. And now just continues to attack. The letter is still out. It's 9:43 a.m. Eastern Time. All of the tweets in the letter are still live on Twitter. So remember, no action is the same as taking action. We know now that Twitter has had 43 minutes to have official meetings at the Twitter offices, or the Twitter virtual offices in this new crazy world. And so far, they've decided to side with the president. So, interesting idea, Twitter. We'll see how that's going to go. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice has written a letter to Nevada asking them to reconsider banning religious gatherings of 10 or more people. So, trying to maintain and stop the virus is a problem now from the government officially. It's almost like they're trying to spread the virus intentionally. It's almost like they want you to go back to high virus frequency areas so that America could get the virus more and be damaged more. At a certain level, is it incompetence or is it on purpose? Bully Esquire writes, you can simultaneously think that some government reactions to the COVID-19 pandemic have been overblown and heavy-handed, and wear a mask when you're in public and take other sensible precautions. I honestly can't figure out why all the culture warriors are so fucking stupid. Really nails it there. You can do both. I mean, we can understand the science of this. We can have debates on the government reactions and the spending or whatever. But at the end of the day, the science and the virus and the facts and the truth are going to come out. I'm going to stay on their side. Shout out to Yes Minister. This is a great show. You can find it on the internet. It's available on iTunes. It's like $12 a season or something like that. It's pretty reasonable. And this show is from 1980 to 1984, but it rings just as true if it came out today. It's all about the British government and the Prime Minister and his permanent secretary, and basically just doesn't want to let him get anything done. And this show is clearly kind of the official, like the mirror for that other show I'm watching, Servant of the People, the Ukrainian show, where the guy later goes on to become president in real life. But yeah, this is a fantastic show. Really enjoying it. You should check it out. There's a account that started following me after I said that, at Yes Sir Humphrey, and he said, a cover-up? Certainly not. It is responsible discretion exercised in the national interest to prevent unnecessary disclosure of imminently justifiable procedures which ultimately revelation could severely impair public confidence. And the whole show's like that. It's just beautiful, golden, language that means nothing, like the art of dodging questions, the art of refusing to get anything done, dancing him around in a circle. Just beautiful bureaucracy, magnificent show. Yes, Minister. And then later, yes, Prime Minister. This is a pretty great take on the human capital stock quote that we played earlier from a congressman, no less. And it's Kang and Kodos laughing at the earth. The human capital stock is ready. Ha, 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 ha. So, yes, good stuff. Oh, this is really cool. Crypto. Sorry, Bao, we can't have that. Music is not allowed. But yes, Crypto Graffiti went out for a little trip. Let's see if we can get it larger screen here. There it is. He's kind of cutting a little bee stencil into the bottom of the Best Buy bag. He's adding some water and some paint, stirring it to get the right mixture. Professional work here. Kids, don't try this at home. This is not recommended. And I love the part about this these days. Oh, that's a nice backpack. Man. Through there is that you can wear a mask when he goes out and does this. So here it is. He's out and about. He's got his paint can. He's got his little sprayer. And Bitcoin logo. Funny stuff. So cannot confirm or deny. Obviously, that's washable paint. This is all just an art show. Cannot confirm or deny. Uh-oh, Bitcoin logo there. Oh, Bitcoin logo there. That's really weird. There's a bear selling sandwiches. Shit. Fuck. Okay, so that was totally a nightmare. Next time, no more audio from you, sir. But yeah, Twitter video. Shout out to Crypto Graffiti. He's got a new video coming out there. The Stoic Emperor. I just got, all my ears are gone. The Stoic Emperor. Some prefer an endless fight to a win. How flattering to always be the noble opposition. How free of responsibility. And that's about it for this quick update episode of the Thomas Hunt Show on the World Crypto Network. I would open up for phone calls, if I can barely hear after that last nightmare. If you want to give us a call now, you can call us at 1-518-600-1949 or on Skype at World Crypto Network, all one word. I'll try to keep it open for phone calls, just a couple minutes. So sorry about that audio burst there. That was awful for you and for me. What a nightmare. Anyway, we're just checking it out here on a Tuesday morning. I will check in with the price of Bitcoin just one more time. The price of Bitcoin seems like it's recovered a bit while it's been on the show. The price of Bitcoin is down 0.66% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 8,781, a high of 9,013, and a low of 8,704. That's $1 for 11,387 Satoshis. Thanks so much for joining us. Give us a thumbs up and share. Until next time, bye.